what this quote's about is really Stone Age man used tools really cleverly. So, you know, the old flint and starting a fire, killing an animal with a spear, pretty clever to use some of those old rocks and so forth. The information age, however, could be seen as we've got some really clever tools, but we're not using them very effectively. And the best example of that, I think, is email today. We send an email and we usually put an attachment, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet or a PowerPoint. It could be 4 meg, 10 meg, and we send it off to all our employees across the country even. It could be Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, you name it. We then ask our employees to edit that document and send it back to us. So we spend quite a bit of time doing some administrational changes and so forth. Have we all had that experience in the past? Yep, I saw a couple of nods. Yep. Perhaps not. So think about that, because naturally Office 365 is going to address those types of issues. My name's Sam Hogan. I work for Microsoft. My Microsoft title is BDM, Partnerships and Syndication. And the translation of that really is I'm the channel manager for Telstra around the Office 365 product. My job is to enable the Telstra AEs, specialists, Telstra as a whole, enable them to be able to sell this effectively and also support you. Today we talked about places and spaces. Marty talked about how we're looking to move out of the office and so forth. At Microsoft we have a similar mantra, and we actually have that mantra is work is something I do, it's not a place I go. Yeah, it's a good nifty title, but it's something that Microsoft have really taken to heart. We're starting to drink our own champagne or eat our own dog food, as some people say. And what that's done is really transformed our office. In Sydney, for example, we had 4 levels, desks and all those sorts of things. We've turned that into a hot desking type scenario where we can sit on any floor. We walk around with that PC. We call our colleagues interstate. We IM each other. We don't have any phones. We make all our calls via the PC. We don't sit next to the same person every day. We could be next to the MD, could be next to the mailroom person. But more than that, we actually don't have to be in the office at all. We actually can pick up our kids. We can drop them off to school in the morning. We can be down at Telstra in Melbourne. I'm from Sydney originally. Sorry, I'm from Sydney now, Melbourne originally. But I can make some calls today and join conference calls, and I will be doing that at 5 o'clock. But that's part and parcel of our everyday business. And in the past, that was really only enabled for enterprise customers. Microsoft traditionally could do this because they own the software, but Office 365 now enables you to do some of these things at a really economical price. So if I move forward, and that sort of brings me into this slide here, it's really talking about small and mid-sized businesses. You guys drive the economy. You drive 2/3 of the Australian economy in terms of growth. You employ 1.5 billion people around the world. You've got a voice. You need and have been asking for these types of tools consistently and effectively. Many of you have these tools, but you also have them from disparate vendors. You might use Dropbox. You might have a Big Pond Mail. You might have SkyDrive. You're all trying to piece these bits and pieces together to do some of the things that we're going to talk about today. Some of the challenges you also face, and we spoke to a lot of SMBs in putting our cloud offering together, but one, it was about the mobile worker, having the ability for the mobile worker to access their documents from whenever and wherever they are. Another mantra we have at Microsoft is to access cloud and have the best productivity experience. We can do it on 3 screens, that being obviously the PC, the browser, the mobile device, and pretty soon your television. If you think of Xbox and Xbox Connect, there's some video calling capabilities on that are starting to collaborate with some of these tools. More importantly, the cost of ownership of some of these solutions, even at an SMB level, when you look at an SMB essential server and how much that costs, what we want to do by using cloud is really enable the IT to start focusing on forward-looking projects, not look at keeping the lights on within your organisation. The big stat usually is 70% of IT budget is spent on keeping the lights on. Let's reduce that by putting some of that management of your TIN, your Microsoft licenses, and putting it in the cloud where it's managed for you. Enable you to do testing, bring new employees on, try new applications, those sorts of things. So to obviously address those types of issues, there's a thing called Office 365. As you can imagine by the title, It's really Office 365 days a year. You can access your documents and so forth on Christmas Day, during Easter. You don't have to run into the office, open up your PC and try and log in, or get a VPN and try and log in through that. You've got instant access now. Where it meets the cloud, it actually meets collaboration. So what we're actually doing is enabling you to move away from your PC or a server, do some productivity or potentially a PowerPoint, for example, share it, store it, and enable other people to actually edit that PowerPoint. You're able to collaborate with information. It could be Excel, it could be Word. You now can talk and access stuff from wherever and whenever you are. This really highlights our Link product, and really it's about an online meeting. Good example here is on the left, you see a video call between two people. It's actually 3 people on the call. Very similar to what you might think Skype is. Skype is really a peer-to-peer calling facility. Within Link, you're actually using it as a conference calling facility. So you can actually bring in other people. But in this situation, they've got 3 people on the call. What they're actually doing is discussing their website. They're actually updating it live together. They're collaborating. They're changing the fonts, the edits. They're getting agreement from the 3 people who live in different areas. The other thing too, if they wanted final approval and they wanted the director to see that, they could actually drag him into the conversation. They don't have to invite him via a calendar invite. They could go through their contacts, find their director and drag him in, drag and drop. Bang, the phone would start ringing. You could make it a video call or a phone, get the director on the call. We've made a change, we're pretty happy with it. Are you happy? Bang, ticked. It's updated automatically. And this is a solution, the website solution is also a solution that you can find within Office 365. It's easy as editing a Word document. Here we have the Link client that I mentioned, which actually lists all the different contacts and so forth. As you can see on the side, it actually tells you how long someone's been offline. Alan here's been offline for about 7 days. That wouldn't be a good sign if we thought he was meant to be at home working. We might give him a call and say, what's going on? Luckily, his update says that he's off selling wine, which could mean he's travelling. What's really good and productive about this is I use this tool to communicate with people at Telstra, with partners, with some customers I know, and what you actually can do is federate with customers, suppliers, competitors if you wish, with your Telstra AEs, and you can all of a sudden IM them and actually be on their PC. I freak out some AEs occasionally when I actually give them a quick message, bang, there's Sam Hogan from Microsoft on their screen. If they hadn't used that tool previously, all of a sudden they come straight back. And IM's a pretty effective way of communicating. It's a bit like text these days. Moving forward, we've also got SharePoint. As the name suggests, it's about sharing information. In this scenario here, we have the business documents, and really it's a furniture company, but down the side we've got team meetings and so forth. Again, all of us, if we had our licenses to Office 365 on our different devices, could access team meetings, pull out that document, we could co-author it using the browser, and we could actually put in our updates. Again, I use this with Telstra. We have a monthly governance meeting where we run through, sales, marketing, support, all those types of issues. There's roughly 40 people on the call, and we co-present. My co-presenter's in Adelaide. She runs the T-Suite team. Her and I edit the actual document, load it back up, and then we usually present it probably within about half an hour when we've updated it. But it enables us to work through a document together, have 40 people, put in about 2 or 3 slides together, and then do an hour and a half's meeting and be quite productive. Very quickly too, it does some BI, so you can actually pull information from other sources. So you see the red, green and yellow. You could have sales figures, orders, those types of things. That could come up and give you a bit of a warning. And calendar sharing. So knowing what your team are doing on the go. So you can also see that within SharePoint. And again, remember you can do this with your suppliers, customers as well. It's not just about your own organisation. Finally, email. Email we all know and love. It's fantastic. And this looks just like any other email. But in fact, this is Office web apps. This is what the look and feel you'd get if you were accessing your email via someone else's device. Let's say an internet cafe, pull it up and you wanted access. This is the type of look and feel that you'd get. The beauty though of what I've just shown you is that through your email and Outlook, you can actually connect back into Link. So for example, Alison there, I can see that she's present. I can tap on her actual name. My Link client will come up and it will say, do you want to IM? Do you want to call her? Do you want to video call her? I get the options of what I need and have to do. As opposed to a whole lot of disparate vendors, You have one platform that enables you to bring all of this together. I'll give you a quick demonstration of a video which really goes through this again, but from a mobility perspective, using a Windows device, funnily enough.
Allison has just stepped off the plane. She's in San Francisco for that big meeting with the distributor. First thing she does is check her mail. Office 365 works with all major smartphones that support Exchange Active Sync, including iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry. But Allison uses a Windows phone, which provides her the best experience for managing her Office 365 stuff on the go. Here, she opens her Outlook inbox and now has all of the critical emails needed for her meeting. This one contains the updated details of the meeting, including the address. By tapping on the address, Bing Maps immediately brings up the meeting location, so she can find directions and see how long it will take to get there. Now that she's on her way, she wants to know some more detail about the meeting. Once she's in her calendar, she can see the meeting details, as well as who is attending. This guy is the decision maker. And this woman has objections. Okay, now that Allison is on her way and knows her audience, she'd better accept so Ben knows she's coming. Next thing Allison wants to do is review the PowerPoint presentation she'll be using in the meeting. With Windows Phone 7, she has Office Mobile on her phone, so she can view and make light edits to documents when she's on the go. Even better, she can access and sync documents from her SharePoint team site, so she has access to the latest versions of the team's documents when she needs them. Here's a sales associate, Ben, calling to let Allison know that there's a typo on one of the slides. Allison quickly makes the change to the presentation. Now Allison feels ready to deliver a successful presentation. While she is meeting with the client, she'll also take meeting notes and add it to the team notebook so everyone can review the notes when she sends out a recap of the meeting. And if there is a whiteboard session during the meeting, Allison can capture it with a snapshot and add it to the meeting notes that everyone has access to on the team site.
Cloud isn't about jumping all in straight away. You can take bits and pieces of it to begin with. And most of that is quite economical, and I think the financial model that we've used is that it's a pay-as-you-go model, pay per user. There is no contract, so you just have to give 30 days notice. I think the great thing about that is you can scale with your employers. As you have a project that comes on, you might be employing another 10 people, bang, straight away you can get them up and running within a couple of hours. Or you might be reducing a few people. The other good thing is your software is always current. So Office 2010 has some great little advantages and little shortcuts and so forth. A lot of people still use XP, which was a great product in its day, but that's actually 8 to 10 years old now. There have been a lot of security updates that you'll see in the new versions of Microsoft. So realistically, this can be another reason why you want to move to a cloud-based solution, because you'll actually get that added security benefits of anti-spam and those types of things that you may not have today. If you think about it, people have been able to break into older versions of Office products for 10 years. When people say they want to move towards the cloud, Gartner really say that you should look to a trusted partner. And obviously through Telstra and Microsoft, are probably the two of the biggest brand names you know around the world. Telstra actually has the exclusivity to sell our Office 365 in Australia. So if you're 250 seats and below organisation, it has to be bought through Telstra. If it's over and above 250 seats, you can still buy through Telstra and use the benefit of telco leveraging the funds and management and so forth, but you can also go through to Microsoft directly if need be. But some of the benefits too of such a strong and lasting relationship is some of these things. We talk about 99.9% uptime. What Microsoft look to do is actually have financial penalties back to you if this is not met. And the way we do that is by a percentage of your monthly bill. So if you are affected, you'll get a certain percentage back. That's not to say that these types of things will happen very often. Microsoft has spent $42 billion in building 5 massive data centres around the world. The one that we use in Australia is actually based in Singapore, and we have ones in Hong Kong, Ireland, and 2 in the States as well. How do you buy it? One, it's best to speak to your AEs or your T-Suite specialists. But if you go onto the Telstra website, the Telstra Business website, and look under T-Suite, you'll find Office 365. T-Suite is really an app store or a business app store that Telstra have brought to the market. And as you can see, there's some other products that actually can assist you in your journey to the cloud as well. But simply click on the Office 365 icon. You'll find a lot of information there, the different price levels, case studies. Also, if you go to the Microsoft websites, you'll see that if you want to buy from them, it'll actually bring you in and take you back into the Telstra ordering process. Okay, but both sites are great. They'll give you a lot of information. I've just pulled up one of the plans. This is the E3 plan. What it includes is the Office Professional Plus. As you can see, it's $40 per month. Some people go, oh, that sounds a bit expensive, but it actually has all the other productivity tools licensing included. And if you were to buy Office Professional Plus from a Harvey Norman store, you're looking at around $800. And that doesn't include all these other licensing that you have and the ability to collaborate. So effectively, it's pretty economical. But the other thing, there's a whole lot of other plans. So there's a kiosk worker plan that enables your workforce to just access via the net Office web apps. That costs around $2 or $3 a month for them to get access to Word documents, mail, all those sorts of things. And obviously that, you've got to understand your workforce and know what they're doing and what access they need to it. There's also a thing called the P-SKU, which gives you versions of all of this bundled up for around $7.50. So again, think about what you've got today, speak to your AEs and so forth, and make sure you understand what plans you need to look at to make yourselves more productive. I guess the summary is change your business, change the way you do things, be a technology leader, make sure those IT guys are really concentrating on the future rather than just keeping the lights on and dealing with problems. The cloud enables you to do that, but look at it slowly. If you've got a lot of migration that you need to do, so lots of emails and so forth that you would like to bring to the cloud, it's best to speak to a Microsoft Telstra partner, and you can be introduced to them via your AEs, the T-Suite specialists, because every company's different. So some conversions can be more complicated and others can be easy, nice and quick. So it's up to you guys to sort of work that out through your trusted advisors. And finally, I think that's probably enough from me. We're going to have questions in the room next door, so if you've got any questions that you want to throw at me, by all means do. Hope that was okay and was what you're after. It's a bit harder during this speed dating thing to get it all out, but there you go.